Now then, here we go. A big episode in this series. The Monaco Grand Prix. As always, an iconic race in the Formula 1 calendar. Also an opportunity to hopefully get a good result, because Monaco is very much dependent on qualifying, and then the race is about making track position count. So things can happen. Anyway, if you haven't seen the last race, Spain, go check it out, guys. Link in the top right. Trust me, it was a pretty insane race and a very unpredictable result. So I'll leave the one link in the top right. This weekend, though, we have great news. 3 upgrades on the car, and that is going to make a massive difference. We'll get into that in just a moment. Before that, we're going to go ahead and purchase an aerodynamic upgrade, which is a minor one, but we're going to try and keep things moving over the next few races. But anyway, Monaco time, and this is what it's all about. Qualifying is going to be spicy. We have rain, lots and lots of rain, heavy rain, and that could put a spanner in the works. As for the upgrades, you can see, if you kind of look through the lines, we have taken the biggest step forward this weekend out of any team, and we are pretty much neck and neck with Haas. So a much needed boost. The upgrades coming through after a triple failure, which really set us back, and hopefully we can now start to push on and close the gap to Alpine and the upper midfield. Anyway, it's time for action, and we're here in practice, getting the car up to speed. And as you can see in the bottom right, we've got a little bit of engine wear, which we're kind of carrying over from the last race, but we're going to try and get through it this one, because Monaco isn't necessarily a power sensitive circuit. Practice, as always, went off without a hitch, very smooth and looking very decent. We have a slightly higher tyre wear than I would like, which is a bit of an issue in itself. Fuel burn is also a bit higher than I thought as well, so we'll kind of take all of that into account for the race. But yeah, with that said, qualifying, like I said, went well. Stroll actually, to be fair, the last couple of races has been pulling his weight and is actually getting quite a few extra points, which is definitely going a long way to help us out in terms of getting upgrades. We also get a decent amount of discounts for future upgrades, which is very exciting. And yeah, with that said, we now move into qualifying. The qualifying that I mentioned before is full of rain. You can see it's absolutely just chucking it down in Monaco, and yeah, this should be a lot of fun. So let's get into it. Full wet tyres on, and currently on our first time lap. Of course, it's just a banker, but this will give us an idea as to kind of where we are and what we can sort of aim for in this session. And so far this season, we haven't made it out of Q2 yet. So that's always going to be the objective, to try and maybe see if we can make it to Q2 for the first time this season. So yeah, making our way through La Rascasse into Anthony Nogues, the final corner. Up to the line we go, and our first banker, let's see where it gives us. P6, which is bloody good. That's a pleasant surprise. Purple in sector 3, and we're going to keep pushing here to try and get more confidence. And on this second lap, we're 4 tenths up.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
And literally, we are flying. We brushed the wall a little bit through the swimming pool there, but for the most part, we are absolutely flying. And we're finding even more time as we're nearly half a second up, losing a little bit on the exit. P7 right now, across the line we go, and it's P1, fastest of anybody, and I couldn't believe it. I was surprised and very shocked. Back to the garage, 4 minutes to go. I'm not going to go back out. We are pretty much safe. We only have 2 sets of full wet tyres, so we'll save a set for Q2, and yeah, we're through. I can't believe it. For the first time this season, we're out of Q1 into Q2, and we've done it in style, emphatically, comfortably, easily, as Hamilton sets the pace in a 22.9. We set a 23.0. And here we are then, Q2. I've put a fresh set of tyres on, as we have a bit of a moment through the swimming pool there, just starting out the lap, making our way through the final couple of corners now to close out the banker. And this will confirm, is our pace legit? Can we do it again? Can we find the pace up to the line? And it's a 23.2, and it's 8th place, which isn't quite as fast as Q1, but we know that's time to find you, because straight away we find the 10th on the exit of turn 1 alone. Already a 10th and a half up now, heading into turn 4, so the lap was going well, 2.5 tenths up as we go purple in sector 2, and then through the swimming pool, and this section right here, we absolutely smashed it. We had no issues, unlike the last lap, no oversteer, kept it nice and smooth, and we're half a second up as we close out the lap. Make that 6/10 as we close out the lap. Up to the line we go, and this is going to be a 22.6, and that is second place, and we are in the mix, baby. We're in the running, and we can fight for pole today. We got damage on that run. We got underfloor damage, so that's going to limit us from actually going back out. But again, we don't need it. We're through. We're safe. The car is working beautifully. We had a couple of purple sectors, sectors 2 and 3. Sector 1 is my biggest weakness in the dry and the wet. But this time, Leclerc setting the pace as the lap times drop to the mid-22s, which is about half a second quicker than Q1. And yeah, overall, I can't believe it. It's not just the fact we're out of Q1, we're into bloody Q3, which is mental. So very, very happy about it. And I'm going to roll the dice in Q3. Our first run, we're going to try and go for the intermediates. And we're going to see if this tyre can work, because on the radio I kept on asking for the weather updates and it said that the Inter was actually the better tyre, so I thought I'd give it a go. First lap, a 24.2. It didn't feel bad, but it just wasn't quick, and I was a little bit skeptical if it was the right tyre. I tried a second lap and I was up and down at times. It was a bit of a scruffy lap. In the end we didn't actually improve, so we'll go for one more attempt, and we brushed the wall at turn 1, which isn't ideal.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
Luckily, no damage, and you can see I'm pretty much going for broke, all or nothing, and we started to find some time. Currently 2/10 up, make that 3/10 as we head into the swimming pool section. And I have to make a decision, 4 minutes to go. Do we commit or do we box? And we hit the wall again there, which kind of made my mind up that the track just wasn't there for the Inters, so I'm going to box and bail on this run, because even though I probably would have got into like a mid to high 23, I'm worth the pace. Hamilton's on a 22.7. The Inter just lacked a little bit of pace, and that's just the reality. So I don't have any fresh wets. Nobody does. I've gone onto my freshest wet available, which is around 5%, and we're going to try and send it and see if we can pull something out the bag. So turn 1, straight line braking. Try to get the inside curb. I could have taken a bit more there, but for the most part, that was pretty decent. Traction, not ideal, struggling with oversteer all the way up the hill, but we're still finding time into Massenet, taking a bit of a wider line to kind of come back in for that second apex and square up Casino to get the exit down the hill into Mirabeau. Sector 1, and we're a 10.5 up on Hamilton, so this is a good start. Down to the Lowe's hairpin, first gear, clip the apex, smooth on the power as we make our way out of here. Easy does it as we go through the downhill section into Portier. On the power now into the tunnel, 0 wheel spin, absolutely perfect, and we're over a second up already. Into the Nouvelle chicane, brake at the 100 if you can, down to third. We just run a bit wide. I have to, take a bit of a hit there. I've just lost a bit of time. Missed the first apex, and then that compromised the second apex, and then the exit of course wasn't as great. So we now have to go for broke through this entire swimming pool section. To be fair, we've absolutely smashed it into Rascasse. Nice and tidy, no locking up, no oversteer. Now the final corner, also pretty decent. Up to the line we go. It could be in the money, this. It could be in the mix. Up to the line, and it's P3. We just miss out on pole by literally 6/100ths of a second, and literally that mistake at the Nouvelle chicane was the difference. We could have actually bagged pole today, but we just made a critical error on that last lap, which was a real shame. I got my timings a bit wrong. I would have loved to have had 2 laps, 2 attempts to try and improve, but we had to basically do it on 1 lap, and we almost delivered. A very close session. The top 4 covered by less than a 10th. It's really, really tight, and what a session, guys. What a qualifying. And now, as I mentioned in the intro, Monaco's a unique race because the race is very much about making your car as wide as possible, and it's so hard to pass. Track position is king. So could we secure our second podium of the season? We're about to find out. Qualifying done. Let's move into the main event.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863, and of course a certain road race first held in 1929. there is no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1 mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than a few inches away from the race-ending barriers. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Russell, Perez, Ricciardo, Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, Latifi, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher, Albon, Zhou, Yuki Tsunoda and Sebastian Vettel, Gasly and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's have a chat about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Now today we have a chance to pick up our second podium of the season and our second podium of the series. Of course, we got very close in Imola to winning the race. Today, maybe, possibly, we could have a chance. It all depends if the Now, today's race, we're starting from P3, our best qualifying of the season, thanks to the wet weather conditions. My question is that pace legit in terms of, does it translate to the dry or is it a wet weather thing? Either way, if it is the case, then we're going to have to defend and hold on to P3 as the main objective in today's race. Either way, hopefully, I'm feeling positive. I want to try and get that podium because that would be our second podium of the season. We got second place in Imola, of course, in the main race after the sprint, and to be fair, could have possibly won that race. If the pace is there in the dry today, maybe we could win today, but that remains to be seen. I would take a P3 right now, to be honest with you. So, yeah, strategy for this one is going to be a one-stop, a very simple medium to hard tire strap. Fuel-wise, 0.2 extra. And yeah, there's not really much mystery there. It's just about trying to hold position, making our car as wide as possible, and having a good race. Ideally, hopefully we get a good start, jump one of the cars ahead, if not both of them, off the line, and basically take it from there. So, yeah guys, leave a like if you're excited, subscribe for more. Also down below in the comments, a prediction. Do you think we'll get the podium, or do you think we'll struggle? Let me know. Here we go. Good start to be fair, but Lando gets an even better one. Leclerc. Really poor start, so no pressure from behind. Sainz holds on to P1, so we tried to have a look. Good getaway, but Lando getting the best start out of anyone, that was far from ideal. But yeah, I'm still very happy with, P3. I mean, I'd finish here if I could. But let's see if we can hang in there. Let's see what the pace is like. Are we actually competitive in the dry conditions? This wasn't on my, prediction this weekend because Monaco hasn't been a good hunting ground for me in this game.
Okay, with monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine, be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power.
And to be fair, it hasn't been a good hunting ground in a long time. The kind of OP-ness of racing here, the AI being weak, has kind of vanished over the last couple of games, and this isn't really what it used to be in terms of, you knew every time racing here you would pick up guaranteed points. So I really wasn't planning to be effective here, but looking pretty handy so far. I'm gonna basically just, shut up and get cracking because I can't talk too much here. I have to focus. So let's try and get after the front two. 11.7.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I don't quite have the pace of the front two, at least at this stage. Although now is when they stopped running full power, so they should hopefully be a bit more my kind of pace, but first signs are that we're a little bit off the pace, so we're going to have to try and fight. So 5 laps in, and we don't have an answer. I thought the AI may drop back a little bit in terms of pace once, you know, they kind of ran their full power and used up the batteries in the first 2 laps, but it hasn't been the case. Science is pretty damn strong. Lando can't keep up. As for us, we're just basically chilling right now, not under any big pressure. Leclerc yet to really get any important run or get close to me, so we're looking okay. A little bit of a concern is fuel. I should have put a bit more in, as we'll have to manage it throughout the race, but for the most part we're looking okay. Car feels great, and I feel pretty comfortable driving the car, just the fact we don't have the pace, which is just a reality of where we're at.
The energy stores depleting, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Not really too worried about that. Just an update. Right now we're very comfortable. Leclerc cannot get anywhere near us. Pit phase will be key in terms of obviously not getting undercut and maintaining position, so we may have to pit a bit earlier just to make sure we keep track position. Feels like Verstappen can't quite keep up. I think there's a gap starting to form, and I think our pace is actually not bad, honestly. I think we're doing pretty decently. That's my best lap in ages. We've managed to drop Leclerc out of DRS range and also actually gain on the cars ahead on that one. Obviously it's not a consistent thing, I can't do it every lap, but we have got a little bit of pace when we need it. Leclerc now back in range. Other than Leclerc, cars behind don't really have a lot on me, so we're actually pretty comfortable. Just got to try and keep an eye out. Okay, interestingly, Sainz and Norris approaching quite a bit of lap traffic. Not saying anything's going to happen, but we're approaching the pit stop phase here.
Okay, the pit window's open, so let's box this lap. Box this lap.
Yellow flag. At to back, one of the Alfa Romeos is slowing down. Bottas. No safety car though, so we're all clear. Normally I prefer the overcut because I like the warm tyres, but
Yellow flag.
my tyres are toast. These feel horrible, so we're going to box, play it safe, and avoid the undercut. Leclerc follows me, so that's perfect. So does everyone else. Only Sainz and Norris stay out, so a nice smooth stop here, and we're in the clear. Oh, it's a slow one. I don't believe it. Wow. 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 We got so lucky. Leclerc got held and jumped by Verstappen.
Up to speed now, let's get some heat into those tyres.
Well, that is a critical moment if I've ever seen one. Under pressure, our own pit crew let us down, but luckily we got bailed out by a slice of luck. Also, we're just ahead of Tsunoda here, which is ideal, so let's take it nice and easy now. We haven't got to push like a madman, we've got track position. But that was a crucial phase of this race and it almost went wrong. Badly, badly wrong. Okay, now the remaining cars are in the pits. I think this tyre will actually be a better race tyre for us. I'm not saying I'll be faster, but I'll be more comfortable because I was on the limit with temperatures, especially in the fronts. I kept on having issues as I would often have one little lock up and that would send my temperatures really, really high. Russell there is just going to miss out, almost got the overcut on Verstappen, but we know we're faster than Max because we saw in the first stint I could actually drop him, so we're actually more comfortable now than what we were before, so we can actually look ahead rather than look behind. But yeah, Lando's got himself within DRS range of Carlos as well. Let's just make sure we don't concede DRS to Verstappen here and stay out of range. Everything's going well. Let's just hope we have a nice smooth ride to the end. Car feels phenomenal. Okay, Lance mate, let's not commit a hold up. Let's just get out of the way. Thank you mate, much appreciated. That was a really good final sector. More lap traffic on the way as we improve again and set an even better personal best lap. Seb is the next car. Right, let's see if we can clear them. That's Seb out of the way. Verstappen losing a bit of time. And now we just got to try and clear Pierre Gasly ahead. Hoping to clear him here if I get close enough. Perfect, that was a great chicane. Now we're in clear, now we can push away and get away from Verstappen.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Well, lucky there. I brushed the inside wall, but no damage. 10 to go. I'm struggling to lap Albon. My pace is dropping. I'm just trying to manage fuel. Verstappen now catching back up. The gap was 3.6 at one stage, now 1.8. A bit like in the first stint, I'm struggling with tyre wear. As tyre wear kicks in, my pace starts to drop, so possibly signalling, we need to maybe do some tyre wear upgrades, but yeah, we're just starting to lose a bit of pace now. Verstappen is closing in. No, big concern, but just got to be careful. I think finally we're going to clear Albon here. Yes, we do. And we get a little bit DRS just to help us along, which is nice. There we go. Hopefully Albon can cost the cars behind a little bit of time, take the pressure off a little bit. Oh my god. Yellow flag. Signs? Signs in trouble.
Caution. Okay, information on Sainz. Right, they've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Oh my god. Well, we'll take that. That'll give us an extra place. Lovely jubbly. Carlos Sainz out of the Monaco Grand Prix with 5 laps to go. Heartbreak for Ferrari. He led every single lap. Lando, though, has been the faster driver. So he now is on course to win this race. Here we go then. Last lap of the race. Lando's going to win the Monaco Grand Prix, which is insane. And we're going to pick up our second podium of the season. Yet again, another second place finish, but this is very sweet indeed, being on the podium at Monaco. And we've done it in pretty convincing style. Had it pretty much under control, bit of a scare at the pit stop, but for the most part, we're all controlled, and that is a great weekend.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
It's the one that everybody wants to win, and they've only gone and done it. What a fantastic result here at Monaco. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
A podium in Monaco, that was on the bucket list, and I'm very, very glad we've achieved that one and got it out of the way. As you can tell, besides Carlos getting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, we actually had the fastest lap in the top 14, so yeah, we missed out by about a tenth, otherwise we could have got an extra point. I got very close to that fastest lap. Anyway, Lando, your victor here today in Monaco. We finish in a fantastic second place, our second podium of the season. Verstappen rounds out the top 3. Russell P4 ahead of Leclerc, who was in P3, but then that podium got taken away by that poor stop in the Ferrari garage. Then we've got Perez, Ocon, Ricciardo, Hamilton and Magnussen rounding out the points. So Haas in the points again as our Alpine. Latifi P11 ahead of Schumacher, Tsunoda, Zhou, Albon, Vettel, Gasly, Stroll, and then Sainz with the fastest lap of the race and Bottas out of the race. So yeah, shame we couldn't get that extra point. We missed out by a tenth of a second. In the standings though, we move into 8th place, or should I say consolidate that 8th place as we extend our lead even more over our rivals. And to be fair, we're keeping Ricciardo in our rearview mirror, which is great. So very good weekend. Very, very happy with that one. And we outscore our rivals. So as you can see, that means we retake 5th place in the Constructors' Championship. And we also have a 7-point cushion over Haas, which is great. So yeah, things are going well. We're 8 rounds in, and we're pretty much almost at last season's points tally, and we've already had 2 podiums, so we're doing very well, and we're definitely moving in the right direction. The upgrade package this weekend was on point. We gained so much ground, and we're going to try and hopefully add some more to that at the start of the next episode. But guys, Cheers for watching. Leave a like for that podium. Subscribe for more. As always, hope you guys are enjoying the content. A big shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care and it's goodbye from me.